Styles, right back at you with another video. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Collect All Monsters. And I'm back again with another, not exactly an X Plus figure review, but X Plus will be a major topic of discussion in this video. So you already clicked the title, you already know what I'm covering here. And in this video, I am listing my top 10 favorite X Plus 30cm figures. Yes. And I got to thinking about this like a while ago, because if you remember, I want to say maybe like a year ago, I think it was a year ago, I put together a list or my ranking of my X Plus Gigantic Series figures that I have in my collection. I have pretty much every single one of them, quite frankly. But I put a video together ranking them from my least favorite to my most favorite. And after I got that video together, it got me to thinking that maybe I should do that for my 30s, which I'm doing now. I'm definitely going to do one for my 25s. Might do one for the Favorite Sculptors line. Definitely doing one for the Defo Rails. So I mainly wanted to put this video together for a long time. Because the backstory about me, before I got into the Gigantic series, the Defo Rails, the Sakai's, before all those lines were introduced, my go-to line as far as like me being an X Plus collector was the 30cm line, you know? I wasn't really a big fan of the 25s at the time. I have eaten those words since then, because I got me a whole bunch of 25s in my collection. But when I first started out as an X Plus collector, all I wanted to get were the 30s. And I got me a good chunk of the 30s, you know. So trying to put this list together, kind of like the Gigantics. The Gigantics, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all fun putting a list like this together. But the Gigantics, it wasn't relatively easy, but it was a lot easier than the 30s. And I can only imagine what the 25 list is going to look like. But this is my top 10 favorite X Plus 30cm figures that I have in my collection. Now, I don't have every single 30cm figure that X Plus has ever done, but this is based off my opinion, my perspective of the current X Plus 30cm figures I have in my collection. Now, before we go into the top 10, let me give 3 honorable mentions that could have made it. And I feel real bad. Honestly, I feel bad that these figures didn't make the list, you know. But first and foremost, the X Plus 30cm 1968 Godzilla. Woo! That figure's awesome. It is so awesome. You know, I have that one and a 25. And I kind of go back and forth on which one is the more superior 68. I kind of lean towards the 30 a little bit. You know, just a little bit more. Nothing against the 25, right? They're both awesome. But I kind of gravitate more towards the 68. And that figure in particular is amazing. It really is. And I feel real bad that he didn't make the list. He could have made it. Once again, certain sacrifices had to be made. The 30cm Batra. Yes, Batra from the Heisei series. Coming from not one of my most favorite Godzilla films, but Batra was one of the cool things about that film. And the X Plus 30cm figure of the larval form of Batra is, once again, like the 68, amazing. I had no idea that the figure was going to be that amazing when I got it. Not to mention the fact that it's a big 30cm figure. You know what I'm saying? It's a really big figure for a 30, you know. But the colors, the sculpt, everything about that figure is awesome. And once again, he could have made it. But like the 68, sacrifices had to be made. And of course, the last honorable mention is the 1954 Godzilla, the 30cm version, obviously. The Natural Color Wonderfest 2013 Rick exclusive version. Yeah, there's so much, too many names to describe that one figure. But once again, that figure is amazing. And that was a figure that I've said as many times before on my channel. I was hunting that one for a long time, because I got into the X Plus game just a little bit late, you know, especially after that figure came out, right? So I had no way of getting that figure because it was a Rick exclusive and because it was sold at a Wonderfest. So the quantity of it was real low. So if you weren't able to get one at that particular time, trying to find one in the aftermarket is easier said than done. And I've hunted that thing for years, you know, and I was finally able to get my hands on that figure, and it's amazing. It's a different take of the 54 because it's a natural colored version, you know, with the Oxygen Destroyer as a little mini accessory of the figure. But it's a great figure. And once again, he couldn't make the list. So between the 54 natural color version, Batra, and the 68, I feel real bad. I feel real bad that y'all didn't make it. But let's stop, procrastinating. Let's not talk about who didn't make it. Let's talk about who did make it. So let's go into my X Plus top 10 favorite 37-minute figures, and let's go with spot number 10. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 10, and we're starting off this list in a very controversial note because I know this figure and or this design is not too beloved by a lot of Godzilla fans. More on that later, but it's on my list. It's on my top 10 favorites of X Plus 30cm figures, and I'm talking about the X Plus 30cm 1967 Godzilla from Son of Godzilla. Once again, this is a great figure, and I had to have this guy on my list. Now, once again, I know this design is not the most beloved design in the franchise, you know what I'm saying? And I still make the case in the argument that this design was perfect for the film that was built around it, Son of Godzilla, right? This design would not work in GMK. It would not work in 84. It would not work in Shin Godzilla. Well, maybe maybe Shin Godzilla. Maybe. I'm just joking. But the design worked for that particular story of Son of Godzilla. And X Plus did make a 25cm version of that figure. And it's a cool figure, but something was a little bit off about it, in my opinion. I have it, don't get me wrong. But it's something a little bit off about that figure. And then they brought out the 30cm version, which was a cool, great, absolute upgrade. It is perfect, in my opinion. It is perfect. Whatever was wrong with the 25 or something that was off about the 25, they perfected it, in my opinion, with the 30. From the sculpt, the look on the face, the crew looking dorsal plates, even the size of it. Because even though it's a 30cm figure, he actually is like around 33 or 34 centimeters. So he's like around maybe 13, 14 inches tall. And I like that when a figure is bigger than what they advertise it for. But because I have such nostalgia for that suit, Gojira 851, you're going to feel me on this. But because I have such nostalgia for that suit, and once again, I appreciate the suit for the movie that was built around it, and the fact that X Plus created a stunning representation in a 30cm version of that particular design. That's why he earns a spot on my list at number 10. The X Plus 30cm 1967 Godzilla from Son of Godzilla. So now let's go with spot number 9. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 9, and yes, we're going with a figure that made its release of this year of 2021. It's probably one of the first releases of this year. Yes, it was of this year of 2021. I'm talking about the main big baddie from the 1973 classic Godzilla vs. Megalon with the X Plus 30cm God of Zootopia himself, the rhinoceros beetle god himself, Megalon. Once again, a great figure. And I predict that that figure would definitely be in the running for figure of the year of this year, because that figure is stunning. And kind of like the 67 that I just talked about moments earlier, S Plus made a 25cm version of Megalon. And once again, that figure is great. Very sought after, But kind of like the 67, there's something a little bit off about it. Not to mention the fact that, it can't really stand properly in certain respects because the legs are... I don't know what's going on with that figure, but for some reason mine can't really stand up right. I gotta have him propped up against another figure, whatever. But the sculpt looks great, but there's still something off about it. I can't put my finger on it, like with the 67, right? But X Plus brought out a 30cm version, a 30cm upgraded version of Megalon, you know what I'm saying? And it is awesome, from the paint job to the sculpt. Just everything about that figure of the 30cm Megalon is so amazing, and it gets me so pumped up and amped that they would do another proper version of a 30cm 73 Godzilla. We already got a Jet Jaguar, right? 30cm version, and a 30cm 1973 Gigan. And once we get all those four together, which I think we will get at some point, we will get. we will have the ultimate setup to that campy show of flick. My first ever Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Megalon. But Megalon is the true key of making this setup happen because he was the big main baddie of the film. He does carry the film for a good chunk of the story. And S Plus has done a phenomenal job with this 30cm upgraded version representation of the Rhinoceros Beetle God himself, Megalon. Once again, I think he will be in the running for figure of the year of 2021 when it's all said and done. And how can you not put him in the running for figure of the year, because he is just that awesome. So if you're not grabbed one, please do so. You will not be disappointed, and that's why he earns a spot in my list at number 9. The X Plus 30cm Rhinoceros Beetle God of Seatopia himself, Megalon. So now let's go with spot number 8. Okay, folks, here we are at spot number 8, and we're sticking with the 70s. Yes, we are. Because you know me, I love the 70s era of Godzilla films. It's my favorite era of films. If we are dissecting the era, at least the film eras by, like, the decade, whatever, the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, Heisei, Monsterverse, or whatever. The 70s are my absolute favorite of films, and that's why in spot number 8, we're going with another big baddie from the 70s, the Smog Monster himself, the X Plus 30cm Rick exclusive edition of Hedra or Hedera. I say Hedra. I say Hedra. Nothing against anybody who does say his name the other ways, but I always have I prefer to call him as Hedra. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against Hedora or Hedera or Hedra, but whatever. But yes, the X Plus 30cm Hedra or Smog Monster from Godzilla vs. Hedra, and in my opinion, this is the best Hedra the X Plus has ever done. They have done a 25cm landing version. They have done a 25cm crawling version. They have done a 25cm fourth form version like this one. But in my opinion, this is the one. This is the best one that they have ever done. Hopefully they'll get to a flying version at some point. But for the time being, in my opinion, this is the best one. And kind of like the 67 that I mentioned earlier, he's bigger than your standard 30cm figures. He's like around 33, 34, kind of like the 67 that I mentioned earlier. You know what I mean? And I have the Rick exclusive version or reissue that came out a few years after the original that comes up with the light up red eyes. And in my opinion, that was the perfect Rick accessory when it comes to light ups for that particular monster of Hedra, because the red light up eyes are awesome on the particular figure. Now, I know a lot of folks are sick to death with the light ups, but I've always said a light up gimmick for the right circumstances or for the right monster will actually work. And as you can see here, it actually works so well and so perfectly with this monster of Hedra. I love Hedra, you know what I'm saying? For a big walking pile of crap, he is awesome. And he is celebrating his 50th anniversary this year. And be on the lookout for that Godzilla vs. Hedra live stream discussion on my channel coming up real soon. But until then, that's why this figure, such a stunning representation of the Smog Monster himself, deserves a spot on my list at number 8. Yes, yes, yes. The X Plus 30cm 1971 Rick exclusive version of the Smog Monster himself, Hedra. Yes, yes, yes. So now let's go with spot number 7. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 7, and we're going to shift away from the Godzilla series just a little bit and focus on Gamera. And ironically, what I'm about to share with y'all on who is in spot number 7 is not of Gamera himself. Now, don't get me wrong. I have pretty much every single version, 30cm version of Gamera that S Plus has ever done. All the Heiseis, I have the 67, but Gamera himself is not in this spot. And spoiler alert, he's not really on this list. I hate to say that because all the 30cm versions of Gamera that S Plus has ever done, they're awesome, but unfortunately he couldn't make his list. But what did make this list and in spot number 7 was the first ever foe that he ever fought. And I'm talking about the X Plus 30cm version of the Rick exclusive Barugon from Gamera vs. Barugon. Once again, a stunning, awesome figure. And like the 67, like Megalon, they have made, that's what I'm talking about, made a 25cm version of Baragon, and it's a cool figure. I'm not going to say there's something off about the figure like I did with Megalon and the 67 Godzilla, because there's nothing really wrong with that figure of the 25. So that figure was already great, you know what I'm saying? But they brought out a 30cm version that blew that thing out of the water. The sculpt is awesome. It is bigger. It is just more impressive to have it in your hands, you know what I'm saying? It is a great, 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 great figure. And I feel real bad that honestly, too many people are more aware of Baragon because he is a Gamera villain. And Gamera, I hate to say it, when it comes to Godzilla in terms of popularity, you know, Gamera's like a solid number 2. There's nothing wrong with that, but a lot more people are aware of Godzilla than they are of Gamera. So not too many people know about Gamera's villains, you know, Baragon, Gauss, Viraz, Giron, Zigra, you know, whatever. They're maybe more aware of the Heisei villains, you know, the Heisei, Gauss, Legion, and Iris, because they're more celebrated Gamera films. But the Showa ones, they're not talked about a lot outside of the kaiju community, you know what I'm saying? But that figure in particular is so amazing. And for the longest time, I had my X Plus 30cm 1968 Anguirus as my favorite crawler that X Plus has ever done. And he got upstaged by Baragon because this figure is so amazing on so many different levels. And once again, I feel so bad that not more people are more aware of him. But if you are aware of Baragon, if you got him, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because he is such a stunning piece. Yes, yes, yes. And that's why he deserves a spot on my list at number 7. The X Plus 30cm Rick Exclusive Edition of Baragon from Gamera vs. Baragon. So now let's go with spot number 6. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 6, and yes, we're sticking with the Gamera side of things with spot number 6. We talked about Baragon in the previous spot, who was basically Gamera's first ever foe that he ever fought. So now spot number 6 belongs to arguably Gamera's most popular foe. And spot number 6 belongs to the X Plus 30cm Rick Exclusive Edition of the 1967 Shadow of Evil himself, Gauss. Yes, yes, yes. This figure is so amazing. Yes, it is. From the paint job to the sculpt to the Rick feature with the multiple light up on his head and the back of his ears, you know, whatever. This thing is so amazing. I feel bad that he's not more aware by a lot of people like Baragon in the previous spot, you know, because he is a Gamera villain. He is a Gamera property. But if you got this figure and are aware of this figure is amazing. And you're sensing the pattern here with Baragon, Megalon, the 67 Godzilla. You know, I mentioned when it came to those monsters, the X Plus put out a 25cm version of that figure, which looked cool, don't get me wrong, but they were able to blow it out in the water with a 30cm upgrade. And you can definitely add Gauss onto the list, because the 25cm version of Gauss is cool, but they just made it even super better with the 30cm version. And if you can find it for a great price, especially if you're a fan of Gauss and of the movie Gamera vs. Gauss, you owe it to yourself to go after this figure. That's why he belongs on my list at spot number 6. Yes, yes, yes. The X Plus 30cm version of the 1967 Gauss Rick Exclusive Edition from Gamera vs. Gauss. Yes, yes, yes. So now let's go into the top 5. Let's go with spot number 5. Alright, folks, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're in the top 5. We're so in the top 5. And yes, we're going back to the 70s. Yes, yes, yes. Did I mention I like the 70s a little bit? Just a little bit, just a little bit. And yes, I'm talking about one of the main baddies from 1975's Terror of Mechagodzilla with the super aquatic dinosaur himself from the evil Dr. Mifune. I'm talking about the one and the only Titanosaurus. Oh my God, this figure is so awesome. Yes, he is. And you know what? Now I have this on my mind. The reason why I'm doing this video, I should have mentioned this earlier, but It's on mine now. But the reason why I'm doing this video is to, once again, I've said this many times before on my channel, it is so awesome to anticipate what's new that's coming down the pipeline from X Plus. At the time of recording, what we know is coming: the new Gigantic 54, Martha 92, the 25cm Rodan 2019, the Devil Real versions of Gamma 99, the 2000 Godzilla. You know, there's so much stuff coming down the pipeline for S Plus to really be super excited for. But also at the same time, it is also cool to look at past figures that you have accumulated on your journey as a collector. You know what I'm saying? So it's just great to go back and look at these past pieces, these past awesome pieces that we spent our hard-earned money on that we have in our collections. And you can definitely add a 30cm Titanosaurus onto the list. And once again, like Baragon, like Gauss, like Megalon, they brought out a 25cm version of Titanosaurus. I think he came later than the 30. Yeah, that's what happened. But in my opinion, the 30 blows the 25cm version out the water. It is such a stunning piece of just awesomeness that you have in your collection. Titanosaurus is so great. And I'm such a fan of the kaiju itself, you know what I'm saying, that I had to have the 30cm version of Titanosaurus. Originally, I got the Rick that came with a little mini sub that was in Terror of Mechagodzilla. But I since sold it because I didn't really need it, quite frankly. But the figure I do need. The figure is awesome. Once you pair him with a certain other kaiju, you make for a killer setup. As a matter of fact, once you pair him with all the kaiju from this film of Terror Mechagodzilla, you get you an ultimate cool setup. But the setup would not be complete without the awesome super dinosaur himself, Titanosaurus. Yes, yes, yes. And that's why he belongs in spot number 5. The S Plus 30cm Titanosaurus from Terror of Mechagodzilla. So now let's go with spot number 4. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 4. And you know what? We just got finished talking about the super dinosaur himself, Titanosaurus from Terror Mechagodzilla. So it's only right that we talk about his main partner in crime of that film of Terror Mechagodzilla, which brings me to spot number 4. The X Plus 30cm 1975 Mechagodzilla Rick Exclusive Edition. Once again, a great figure. And in my opinion, if it wasn't for the gigantic 1974 Mechagodzilla, this will probably be my most favorite Mechagodzilla figure of all time. But he comes in at a close second. And as far as 30s, I think he's one of the best ones that X Plus has ever done. And between the two designs of Mechagodzilla, you already know, I actually prefer 75 over 74. I love the look of 75 more. I like the performance of 74 more. So if I could combine the two, I would combine the performance of 74 with the look of 75 to create the best Mechagodzilla that I could ever create. You know what I'm saying? But if you pin me down and ask me which one I love more, it'll be the 75 Mechagodzilla because of the look. I love the more darker tone on the metal on the suit as well as the X Plus figure, because the X Plus has perfectly recreated the suit in 30cm version form, and it is such a great figure. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense because in the film, we all know what happened. You know, Mechagodzilla 75 was salvaged from the remains of the 74 Mechagodzilla, and his remains were at the bottom of the ocean. So it makes more sense that when they brought him back and rebuilt him, the metal would have like a darker tone to it, more of a darker tinge to it. You know what I'm saying? So they replicated that in the suit, and X Plus so replicated that in the figure itself, you know what I'm saying? And I not only have the original 30cm Mechagodzilla 75 with the swappable brain apparatus and the regular head with the cool light up. I also have the one that came out earlier this year with the multicolored rainbow eyes, you know, whatever. And I'm getting the upcoming Devil Real Mechagodzilla 75 Rick Exclusive, which should be out hopefully by the end of July. So yeah, I'm kind of a fan of Mechagodzilla 75, but can you blame me? Because it's such an awesome figure. And once you pair him with Titanosaurus, with the 75 Godzilla, you have a cool setup of one of the most awesome films ever in the Godzilla franchise, Terror Mechagodzilla. But once again, like Megalon was the key to that setup that I mentioned earlier, Mechagodzilla is the key to this setup, and that's why he belongs in my spot of number 4. Yes. The X Plus 30cm Mechagodzilla 1975 Rich Exclusive Edition. Yes, yes, yes. So now let's go with spot number 3. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 3. Yes, yes, yes. We are in the top 3 on my list of my favorite X Plus 30cm figures. It took a while to get here, but we are finally here. As you have seen earlier with the figures we have covered up until this point with Hedra, Baragon, Gauss, Titanosaurus, Mechagodzilla, whatever. Those are awesome figures. So now we go with another awesome figure in spot number 3. And you all know I'm a fan of a certain giant awesome gorilla. So spot number 3 belongs to the X Plus / Star Ace deluxe version of King Kong 2.0 from Kong Skull Island. Once again, a great figure. You already know. You know Kong's going to be on the list. You know me. Kong's going to be on this list in some way, shape, or form. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this version of Kong. Now, they did make another version of Kong, X Plus / Star Ace I'm talking about, but it was like in a different / similar pose, but his mouth was closed, his fist is balled up, he's standing. That scene where he's about to get attacked by the helicopter squadron in the beginning of Kong Skull Island, he has that pose, right? But this new one, this 2.0, is taken from the end of the film when he fights the Skullcrawler. And he looks amazing with his battle stance like this. His mouth is open. He's roaring. He has that propeller in his hand. The chain wrapped around his wrist. Even the base is amazing. Just the whole presentation, whether you have the deluxe or the standard, this is just such a stunning representation of the MonsterVerse King Kong. And I hope they're not done with the MonsterVerse King Kong for X Plus / Star Ace. Because we got 2 versions of a 30cm version. We got a couple of Defo reels. So the only logical place to go is a gigantic. Give us a gigantic so we can put him up against the 2019 Godzilla and have that awesome setup. But until then, until they make a gigantic King Kong from the MonsterVerse, in my opinion, the MonsterVerse King Kong 2.0 from X Plus / Star Ace is the best Kong figure that X Plus has ever done. And it's why he so deserves a spot on my list. At spot number 3, the X Plus / Star Ace deluxe version of Kong 2.0, best of his appearance in the super cool MonsterVerse film, Kong Skull Island. So now let's go with spot number 2. Okay, folks, here we are with spot number 2. Yes, yes, yes. And we're going with a design that's probably one of the most, if not the most popular Godzilla design in the franchise itself. So without further ado, let me tell you who's in spot number 2. And spot number 2 belongs to the X Plus 30cm 1962 Godzilla, the King Goji himself. Best of his iconic appearance in probably the most popular Godzilla film of all time, King Kong versus Godzilla, and this figure is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this figure in my opinion. And in my opinion, this is the best 62 that X Plus has ever done. Better than the gigantic, better than the 2 favorite sculptors line versions of the 62 that they have done, better than the 25, better than the Defo reel. In my opinion, the original 30 is the best 1962 representation that X Plus has ever done. It is perfect. It is amazing from all angles. It looks exactly like the suit. There's nothing imperfect about the figure itself. There's nothing that's out of place or exaggerated or whatever. It is stunning. It is amazing. You know, whether you have the original version, the reissued version with the light up gimmick in his back, he is awesome. Now, that's the one thing I probably would say work against the figure, because I have the reissue Rick exclusive, right? That comes with the light up, right? And the light up on the dorsal plates are kind of off. You know, they light up white, which is not how it was in the film. They lit up blue. But that's like a small little nitpick on my part. But even that does not take away from how awesome that figure is. He is so amazing. And I feel bad for the gigantic 62 because I love that figure. I feel bad for the Favorite Sculptors line version 2 62. I love that figure as well. But there's only one 62 that rises above the rest. And in my opinion, it's the 30cm version. And that's why he belongs in spot number 2. With the X Plus 30cm 1962 Godzilla from King Kong vs. Godzilla, the King Goji in all his glory. And now, We just got finished talking about the 62 being in spot number 2. We're now at number 1. We're at the number 1 spot. And you probably kind of know who it is if you know me. Kind of like an open book in a lot of ways. You kind of know where I'm going with things, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? We're in spot number 1. So without further ado, let's stop procrastinating. Let's stop beating around the bush. And let's find out who's in spot number 1. So ladies and gentlemen, I give to you my most favorite 30cm S Plus figure of all time is this guy right here. I mean, seriously? Seriously? I mean, you should have known who it was. You know, if you know me, you know exactly who's my favorite version of Godzilla, what is my favorite movie of Godzilla, and without further ado, my favorite X Plus 30cm figure of Godzilla is the 1964 Godzilla. This is the Rick exclusive reissue that came out with the blue dorsal plates and the closed mouth. Quite arguably, probably the most sought after figure from X Plus of all time by a lot of collectors, and is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, X Plus figures of all time. And I cannot argue with that. Kind of like what I said with the 62, right? For the 30cm 62, where I feel that figure is the best 62 that X Plus has ever done outside of the other ones that they have made. I feel the same way about the 64. Nothing against the gigantic, the favorite sculptors line, the 25cm version, the Death for Real. This figure is like going to church. It's like going to church. It's like coming to glory because he is just that awesome. Yes, yes, yes. So with nothing against the other figures that's in this list, but number 1 belongs to the X Plus 30cm 1964 Godzilla Rick Board reissue. And man, that's my list. That's my list of my top 10 favorite X Plus 30cm figures of all time, you know. And once again, this is subjective because this is from my opinion. And I have a whole bunch of other 30cm figures that didn't make the list. Like I said, I got the all the 30cm Gammas. I got a few Millennium Godzillas, you know, whatever. I have a few other Showa Godzilla foes that I have. But these are my top 10. These are the cream of the crop. These are the elite. You know what I'm saying? And one, you know what? All my other fellow Godzilla YouTubers out there. Gojira 851, Phil the Kaiju King, we can fit from the Godzilla Files, AJ Russo from Kaiju Live, Godzilla Train 1090, Monsters Attitude, Richard Iso, Samson West. All y'all out there. Maybe y'all can put together a list of your top 10 or maybe top 5 favorite X Plus 30cm figures. And let's see how my list is different from yours. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that my list is very, very Showa-esque. Matter of fact, it's 90% Showa-esque. Out of all the figures, there's only one that's not a Showa. And that was the, obviously, the Kong 2.0, because he's from the Monsterverse. But y'all know me. I'm a Showa guy. I'm a Showa guy through and through. And once again, it's all subjective. You know, you can't be wrong for having an opinion. But in my opinion, these are my top 10. And I love them to death. So once you pop down in the comment section, let me know what is your favorite top 5 or top 10 X Plus 30cm figures. Maybe we can go back and forth on that and have a good time with some conversation in the comment section. But until then, these are my top 10. Now, could this list change in the future if they make other 30cm figures that we have not seen yet, like a 74 Godzilla, a 72 Godzilla, a 65 Godzilla, you know, or other 30cm villains that we have not seen yet, maybe a 30cm Gabara or just something. But something could bump something off this list. But until then, this is my list. And I love it. And I love these figures, every single one of them. Even the ones that didn't make it. I love every single one of you. But certain sacrifices had to be made, as I mentioned earlier. And these are my top 10. The best of the best. The elite, if you will. And I'm so looking forward to my 25cm top 10 list I'm going to put together real soon. I'm really not. Because that's probably going to be so hard. Because there are so many great 25cm figures in my collection. And trying to put this, a list of my favorite or top 10 of those figures is going to be hard. But it's still fun nonetheless. It's fun putting these lists together, you know, of your top gigantics, your top 30, 25s, you know, whatever. It's fun. Because once again, the point of these videos is to really show love to the past figures that you have accumulated in your collection. So look at my list in particular. If you have Titanosaurus, if you have Mechagodzilla 75, if you have Kong 2.0, 64 Godzilla, Megalon, once you go back in your collections and just fall in love with them all over again, because they are just that awesome. All right. So that's pretty much it with what I want to say in this video of my top 10 favorite X plus 30cm figures. And once again, to my fellow YouTubers out there, why don't you put a list together of your favorite top 10 or top 5 X plus 30cm figures, and let's see what you come up with. But until then, this is mine. All right. So I hope you had a good time with me today. I hope you had fun. I know I did putting this list together, but it's fun. It really is a good time to be had by all. All right. And that's pretty much it. And that's all I have to say about that. All right. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all again on the next figure move review. All right. Y'all take it easy.